Howdy, and welcome to Broken Tool Garage. This week I'm going to be getting back to working on my Ramcharger a little bit. So I want to just stop right quick and say thank you to all the recent subscribers. I know I had that one short that went out there and a lot of y'all subbed for that. This is part of my, I guess, content that other than shorts, long video content, is restoring my 85 Ramcharger. I also have an 89 Mustang. Right now I'm working on the Ramcharger. I have the Slant 6 engine right here that I took out. I built it a number of years ago and it had an issue with the head. I actually got that engine out of the junkyard. The head was cracked. We didn't check it, and that kind of come back, well, 10 years later, right? And I'm addressing that, but I'm not going to put it back in the Ramcharger. I have other engines I want to go down in there. This Slant 6 is actually going to go into another car that I have, a classic Mopar A-body. It would be better home in there on that. All right, so this is just going to be a little bit of quick catch up of where we're at on a Ramcharger, because I know whenever I sub the people, I don't always go back and watch some of their older stuff. So this is going to catch some of y'all up right here. So let's just dive right to it. All right, state of the Ramcharger in the shop. I'm still doing cleanup, got boxes and stuff to get rid of. But that's what we got right there. I've done some restoration already on the lower rocker. So I've got several videos on cleaning out the rocker, doing the rust encapsulator, doing the internal frame coating. I'll come in and cut this out so I could do the internal frame coating and stuff like that on the inside of this, get all that grime out of there. And I'm fixing holes because it leaks. That's what kind of started this. So what I'm going to be doing after I do the engine roundup, there's holes here and it's all rusty, so I'm going to go through and I guess I should have got that all the way. It's attacking me. Go through and clean the firewall up, the cowl area, and I want to get all the frame cleaned up. Probably drop the engine down in there once I get that done, and then start my suspension. One of the reasons I want the engine in there is because I can kind of load the suspension and cheat a little bit, because I'm going to take the upper lower control arms off, which means I'm getting the spring out, getting all the brakes off of there, tire, wheel, all that stuff. So I got a little surprise. What I'm going to do on the lower control arms is on these classic trucks, how many of y'all have seen these things lowered without going to a different frame or cutting coils? Because I don't know of anyone who makes a control arm for these vehicles or lowering springs or anything like that. I can't find it. So I have a way I'm going to go about it, and I don't know if you heard of it or not, but we'll dive into that when we get there. Okay, here's the Slant 6. This is originally out of my 1977 Aspen. I got out of the junkyard, drove it to where it just did not have any compression, rebuilt it. Been driving it for like 10 or so years in another vehicle, stuffed it in the Ramcharger, and it sat around for a little bit. Never did really get everything going good overall on the Ramcharger. You know, it's a survival vehicle. Nothing's been restored on it, so there's, you know, brakes, suspension, all that stuff, wiring. But anyways, I took this out and tore into it. The head was cracked. It's, you know, it's just old. It was probably cracked whenever I got it. The bottom end looked really clean, so it did a super good job on the bottom end of it. So I'm not going to be messing with that. However, this is not going back in the Ramcharger. So what I'm going to do is all the bolts and pieces to it, you see it's all kind of half torn down. I'm going to put it all back together so that everything kind of fits together and I know where it's at and I don't have buckets and parts all over the place. Since it's going to sit for a little while, I'm going to make sure to go into the cylinders and make sure they're lubricated very well so I'm not getting any cylinder wall rust. Because like I said, the bottom end of this is really good. So that's what I'm going to be tackling. I'm going to show a little bit of that, putting it back together. But the real meat and potatoes is showing you the engine I'm going to put into the Ramcharger. So that's in the 73 Dodge truck. I'm going to be putting that 360 in there that I built a while back. It's been about a year. It's just sitting there. So I want to use that engine. It's not permanently what I want in a Ramcharger, but it's using this fresh engine that I have, and it's not just sitting around, right? So that's what we're going to dive into, is getting this done, getting that truck in here, getting that engine out, and I don't know how far we'll get, but get this engine and transmission put into the old truck, parked outside, and see where we're at after that. Getting it together. I need to go to the other shop and pick up a few things. I do have an intake manifold here I could slap on there, and I got the headers still laying over there, so that'll button that area up. I'm going to need to get that other valve cover because this is the older style valve cover and it really don't seal up, and I can't get all my bolts in there. I think I have my water pump laying around, so I'll pick that up and just generally get it sealed up so whenever it's in storage in the work truck sitting outside, don't get mud dabber wasp in there and all that stuff, right? When I go to use this engine, everything's going to be completely pulled apart, thoroughly cleaned, and put back together. I just don't want big, nasty stuff all in the engine, right? There we go. We are on there. Got one bolt in. I would have recorded that, but it's just one of them tedious things. It could take me 30 minutes or it could take me 30 seconds. So this one, it took me a couple minutes to get in there. But once I got my tilt right and my height set right, you got the little hub on the torque converter that goes into the back of the crank. Getting that lined up helps because that'll center you up, and then that'll be your height. So that helps out a lot. And then get a dowel pin in and just, pinch it together, put one bolt in, done. Pretty easy. Like I said, I'm just going to cinch all this up and get it stuffed in a corner somewhere, and get it ready for stage 2. It moved by old Stucky. Actually, not stuck anymore. It did not get stuck on wet grass this time, but getting Herald 2.0 pulled in. Utility trailer, still a little bit of work to do on it, which by the time you watch this, it'll already be done due to, I'm not publishing everything in chronological order. Still have these Huyos to put on. A little bit of tidy up work, but I mean, by the time you're watching this, you know what I'm talking about. So, this blind U there, got a good bay, cleaned out, swept out, got the cherry picker ready, 351s loaded up into the back of the truck, and we're going to be getting Herald 2.0 put in here and essentially doing pretty much the same thing as that. Get that engine out, throw the other engine in, and it'll probably sit like that for who knows how long. That's why I lubed up the slant six, and I want to get everything buttoned up so the dirt daubers don't get in it and all that stuff. All right, we're in. Going to start draining fluids, disassembling. I'm going to go ahead and just pull the hood off. I'll probably just keep the hood off and throw it back here because I know, I mean, I'm going to be right back into it, so that would make sense. So this was a good successful test. This, if you remember, whenever I did this engine, this was my this was my custom wiring harness. Like, everything that's running the engine is my own harness that I designed and built, right? A couple little things I could have done better. I don't like that, but that's my first iteration, right? The ignition system, the coil was weak because I don't think that Pertronix Igniter 2 ignition system is meant to run that coil that I have on there, which is a stock Magnum engine coil, the E-core. This is the coil that I think it's supposed to be running. All right, I think we're about out of time for today on this video. I'm going to continue working at this, and I'll let y'all see what kind of progress I got next week. So, I'll see you next time on Broken Tool Garage.